We got the Emperor again. We've gotten that in every single spread so far. And we even switched tarot decks. Hi, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Carly from Soundsight Studios, and this is where we talk about all things tarot. Today, we're doing a special reading for you for the month of May. We're going to get you advice on 3 key themes: self-care, success in your career, and relationships. So let's dive in and get you some guidance. Let's start with a couple shuffles. As we do this, let's take a deep breath to center ourselves. And we'll set the intention that we may see things as they are and not as we want them to be. We're beginning with the topic of career. We're going to get some guidance this month on what skills to utilize and what challenges to look for, because challenges help you build new strengths. We'll look at how you can help other people at work, how you can let others help you, and what to just pay attention to, kind of like a last piece of advice for your overall benefit. All right, let's dive in. Starting up at the top, what skill to utilize this month? Honor when you're feeling tired. The 9 of Wands is a card about fatigue. The character has a bandage on his head because he has been fighting and he is tired out. We all have limits for what we can handle psychologically, emotionally, and physically, and maybe this is a month to really honor those limits and back off before you burn out. What challenge to embrace? The Ace of Cups is a card about being compassionate and letting your heart overflow. Our wands typically represent ego. That's what was in our last card. Ego, passion, ambition, drive. But our cups are very different. They represent your heart, your emotions, relationships with others. So a challenge to take on this month is to be kind to yourself, to be gentle, to be compassionate, to be forgiving, to be generous. And extend that to others as well. Be open to people, share and give to them. Don't push yourself to extremes. Don't ask too much of yourself. Please be kind this month. How to help others. Justice is about maintaining boundaries, the order of rule or law, and being fair. We could take this in a few different directions, but generally, I would suggest that it's important for you to remember what you agreed to. It's important to consider what's fair for other people and not go back on what you said you would do. Make sure that you're showing up, following through, and thinking about what other people are expecting and needing from you in any relationship. Next, how can you let people support you at work? Well, that's a dramatic card. The 10 of Swords is a character who has been overwhelmed with all of their responsibilities. Therefore, I would suggest strong communication is needed. Tell people when you've had enough, when you're feeling burnt out, when you need help. Make sure that you are communicating clearly when you've been overwhelmed and you need an emergency stop, or you need a chance to stop, drop, and roll, reset. People can't always tell that, especially if you're good at masking stress. So clarify things. And if you are able to communicate those needs to others, then it's less likely that you're going to fail in a way that would impact others in a negative way. Finally, what to stay open to for your success? The Emperor. Okay, this is all about a relationship, a relationship with power. Make sure that if you are going to be demanding of yourself or others, that you know where to stop. It is important to have structure and discipline and authority, but we can also wield those with a little bit too much intensity and sometimes hurt ourselves or others. So this goes back to that Ace of Cups card about wanting to be kind. I think about the Emperor in a healthy way as a trellis that allows a vine to grow. It is absolutely critical to have that type of a structure, but it needs to be present but not forceful, right? creating that sense of structure and expectation and the ability to support others, but not something that's forcing growth to happen or forcing a certain direction to be taken. And so in looking at this spread overall, I would say this is a very important month to know when to surrender and not push too much in your career and at work. Honor your limitations and move with your heart and being compassionate for what you're able to accomplish. Be clear on what you need from others, what you're expecting, and where your limits are. And as you use your power, make sure you're doing so in a kind way that is not too forceful or too directive. Because if you've been close to burnout, if you're feeling tired out, it might not take too much to push you over the edge. So make sure you're communicating to people what your needs are, where you're feeling exhausted, where you need help, and where someone else can lighten the load so that you can be a better version of you. This could be a humbling month at work. Take this advice, see how it works out for you, and don't be afraid to tell people when you need a little bit of help. Good luck with it. All right, so that's our career spread. Let's have a look at self-care. Goes right along with our Ace of Cups. For this next spread about self-care, we're going to use a different style of a tarot deck. And this is a 5-card spread to help you take care of yourself because your success is directly linked to your well-being. So we're going to look at what is an action to help you now, where can you make an investment this month for a longer-term payoff, and then 3 pieces of advice for overall well-being and happiness. You ready? Let's go. An action that can help you this month. Rest and rejuvenation. Okay, we're starting to see some repeating themes. I love when that happens in tarot, especially when you're working with a different tarot deck. But this is our reminder to take it easy. Don't push yourself too hard. Rest and rejuvenation. That is the action for self-care. The investment, obstacles and challenges. This doesn't mean that you stop believing that you can overcome hard experiences, nor does it mean that you go so easy on yourself that you get soft. But this is about making sure you're getting your basic needs met, you're getting to rest, you're getting to down cycle, you're getting to tap into the parasympathetic nervous system and calm yourself when necessary. Because you might be an individual who loves to take on challenges. You might feel hungry right now to see what you can do and to be ambitious. That's why our 5 of Wands is a card about wanting to take on these challenges and try things you haven't tried before. In order to do that, in the long term, rest is needed in the short term. And that's what these 2 cards are saying. So 3 pieces of advice for you. Number 1, material and spiritual prosperity. This character is grounded and centered in the present moment. Make sure that you are appreciating what you have now, using it to your benefit, and celebrating it. Again, don't push yourself too hard. Be here now. We see our Emperor come back now in a different card. In this card, the character speaks to authority. Have confidence in who you are, in what you stand for, and in what you do and how you move through the world. It doesn't mean that you have to be demanding or forceful or intense, but you can be consistent. You can be centered. You can be strong. Know who you are and hold on to that. Lastly, our 7 of Cups is labeled Choose Wisely. It's a reminder that you have a lot of options around you at any given moment. So make sure you know what you want for yourself long term, and that will help you make all the right choices in the short term. So let's do a little review here. When it comes to your self-care for the month of May, please create all the time you need to rest and rejuvenate, especially if it can be out in nature. Slow things down and let your body be calm. When it comes to an action, know that you're still a fighter. You still love a good challenge, but that's more of a longer term investment that you'll be making by resting in the short term. Embrace what you have now and enjoy that. That's your material and spiritual prosperity. Don't try to rush to the next thing and forget what you've already built for yourself. Be true to who you are, stand firm in that identity, know that you have authority in your life and you have confidence over who you are and what you're doing. And lastly, have an idea of what you're aiming for long term so that you can make the right choices now in the short term. That's what this Seven of Cups represents. I hope that's helpful. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about relationships. All right, so let's talk about relationships. First and foremost, how to approach relationships this month, and you can decide if it's going to be familial, platonic, or romantic. How to take accountability for your own healing and emotional well-being. What to look for in people around you, what to give to others, and what to be open to. Yeah, okay. So, how to approach relationships this month? Get excited. Please get excited. Get your hopes up. I think the older we get, the harder it is to believe in best case scenarios. The more we tell ourselves, oh, I don't want to get excited about something because I've been disappointed so much in the past. It really takes a brave soul to say, I'm going to ride that emotional roller coaster. I'm still going to believe in best case scenarios. I'm going to go for it. Please go for it. The Lovers is a card about being inspired, feeling passionate, feeling excited. And when it comes to relationships, maybe you need to have that willingness to take a risk, to say something big, to make a big offer. Yeah, you might get disappointed if you get turned down. You might get upset if someone doesn't behave in the way you expected or wanted them to. But it's probably worth the risk. So go for it. All right, that is how to approach relationships, how to take accountability for your own healing and emotional well-being. We got the Emperor again. We've gotten that in every single spread so far. And we even switched tarot decks. All right, our Emperor is all about authority and power. You can take authority for your life. You can decide where your thoughts go, how you speak to yourself, with your inner voice, how you can take accountability for how you define a narrative and meaning that you add to experiences or the things that people say. And you can also decide how you force yourself versus yield to what it is that you want or need. And so make sure that you're using that confidence and authority with responsibility and you're not being cruel, but that you're actually being supportive, caring, and really present with who you are and what you need. All right, then, let's check out what to look for in people around you this month. Ooh la la, King of Swords, serious people only. Maybe this is not the month to be around people that you don't really trust. Our King of Swords is a character that's good at delegating. They're very organized, very strategic, and they're typically intellectual, like they're very intelligent. Therefore, I would suggest be around people that have their you-know-what together, people that have a plan for themselves, and individuals who are not afraid to tell you what they think. What to give to other people this month? The Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is our hopeless romantic. They are our optimist. Don't be afraid to share with people your hopes and dreams. Share with people your vision. Let them be inspired by what inspires you. Don't just give them bare facts. Make sure that you flesh out some bigger ideas for them about what you're working towards, what you're inspired by, what you see for yourself, or for what you see for your relationship. Maybe that kind of tracks back to this inspiration and you having that sense of confidence that you can make it happen. Maybe that will help convince other people to get on board, especially if they are very much like technical how-to people, but not very creative ones. That can help you convince somebody that you have a dream and you're willing to make it happen, and that with their help, you can really pull through together. Okay, last but not least, what to be open to in relationships. Well, look at that balance, that Queen of Swords. What to be open to. If you've been hurt in the past, recognize when that wound is getting triggered. Now we're going back to an old school meaning of the Queen of Swords, because back in the 1900s, this was always the bitter widow of the tarot deck. She was hurt. And that's why we only saw her head rather than her heart in action. This queen traditionally has only showed us half of her, and it's the more intellectual side. So today, right, that is a trope of a hurt woman that we kind of throw to the side. We understand that there are more nuances there about how this woman, about this woman's backstory and how she can behave today. But what I want to point out is that sometimes we have these emotional wounds that cause us to hide our heart, hide our vulnerability, causes us to want to hide our dreams or our visions and protect ourselves. And that is very natural. So please just notice if that's coming up, and if you're withholding yourself or you're making assumptions because of past pain that you've experienced. Give yourself a chance to heal. Know that you know who you are, you know how to protect yourself, and so you now can share what you're passionate about and excited about. And you'll be able to communicate it well, set down the appropriate boundaries that are necessary, and ultimately be a person in your throne of power who doesn't have to hide who they are or what they care about, fearing that it's a vulnerability that they're putting on display. It's not a vulnerability if you know how to take care of yourself. And maybe this is a month to prove that to yourself. Okay, that's your relationship advice. I hope that's helpful. There you have it. 3 small spreads to support you in 3 big themes for the month. What was most helpful to you? Leave a comment and I'll be happy to respond if you have any questions about what the cards meant. Let's do a quick review. Our big 3 themes. Number 1, using your power. Be confident in who you are. This doesn't mean that you have to be forceful. It doesn't mean that you have to be really authoritative. Rather, be supportive, be confident in who you are, and be centered. Theme number 2, rest is important. Allow yourself to downcycle and slow down. You have many obstacles and challenges that you can take on coming up that will help you become a stronger person, that excite you. But in order to be ready to take those obstacles on, you need to be rested. So do prioritize that this month. And finally, when it comes to relationships, be self-aware of past pain. Maybe you've been healing, maybe you've been working through some old triggers or challenges. This is a month to show yourself how far you've come. Don't make assumptions about new people coming into your life based on old experiences that you had. Rather, take accountability for your healing and stay open to what could be next. Please like and subscribe. It really does make a difference in helping me continue to deliver videos like this to you. Follow me on my socials to stay in touch, and I will see you next week. Until then, keep up the good reading. Bye.